Previously on Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix Challenge Mode. We managed to get a hold of a Dream Sword, we then beat up a few small monsters with the Dream Sword, answered a few vague questions, then beat up a giant monster with said sword, and now we are here on the beautiful Destiny Islands with our friends. And of course, what's a good old tutorial stage without some simple item gathering? As we start off collecting the items needed for the trio to go on their journey on their raft to totally go to another world by just going on a simple raft. I do like that some of the items are fairly easy to find and do require a bit more exploration. But for most folks, a lot of something that really surprised them were seeing these characters.
Hey, what's happening, man?
The breeze feels great.
Hey, Sora, you feel lucky today?
When most folks first saw these characters, they recognized them as Tidus, Selphie, and Wakka from Final Fantasy X and 8 respectively.
You're going down.
But since I never played those games, the first time I saw them was when I finally got to Destiny Islands in Chain of Memories. And given the fact that these characters are references to other Final Fantasy games, I'm sure Final Fantasy fans are able to spot out different attack patterns that come from their original games. But since I don't know those games, all of these references are lost on me. I would like to play those games someday because I have gotten more and more into Final Fantasy over the years. But for now, early EXP is always a good thing to get, especially in a challenge run like this one. Although I will also say, of the three, I think Tidus is the easiest. As you'll see here, I do struggle a bit with Selphie and Wakka, mostly because they are a bit more unique in their fighting mechanics. When I am recording this kind of footage, I do sometimes think to myself, how much easier would this be if I had block or dodge roll or something like that. But at the same time, my general strategy of run up and attack without second thought doesn't exactly lend itself to a good strategy for trying to win fights. Even with a few losses here and there though, if I manage to get some tech points and EXP throughout fighting these other characters on the island, that does help in the long run. It does make a lot of the earlier worlds easier, and does help once I do manage to not just get the tech EXP, but also the victory EXP as well to sort of help continue that push towards getting a higher level once the actual game starts. However, I will say, even though you'll see me struggle time and time again against characters like Selphie and Wakka, and especially against the trio of them as you'll see later, Riku on the island has always been a bit of a struggle for me, at least in terms of the battle portion. Once you fight him in the later portion of the game, that's fairly easy enough, because you have a lot more abilities under your belt, you've got Dawn and Goofy by your side. This one is mostly to teach you about potential counterattacks, trying to pay better attention to your surroundings and opponent, trying to teach you how to better learn characters' patterns rather than just rushing in blindly, which, like I said earlier, is very much my mindset. I did actually learn a few tricks surprisingly during recording for this session, but as you'll see here, it took me a while to figure it out, and I ended up losing quite a few battles.
Why must you fail me so often?
Luckily, I have learned how to beat him on a regular basis and gain a good amount of EXP from each of those battles. And not just the EXP, but also getting a few potions here and there helps a lot because you don't learn Cure until you beat Deep Jungle. However, one thing that kind of surprises me about this early portion of the game, after you return everything to Kairi and you start the next cutscene and go to the next day, you can't fight Riku anymore. You can only do the race after this first day. So I would try to do a few more rounds against Riku to try and get some more EXP because, especially in a challenge run like this one, it's important to get as much EXP as I can, even if I do lose a few more games along the way. The single battles, of course, provide their own challenges and difficulties in their own right, but that's just a single battle. The mob fight that you can experience here on the island is very unique and, in my experience, challenging. I only managed to get this level up thanks to the tech points, but everything else was just not working. My main mindset was if I just run full tilt and get at least one of them knocked out, that'll help free things up, and I kept getting knocked out over and over again. With a bit more practice and patience though, I am able to beat all three of them at once. Instead of trying to rush in full tilt, I'm able to just take them down one at a time, and then claim the victory and the EXP. And this fight in particular has always, for whatever reason, reminded me of something from my childhood. As I was growing up, my brother and I would sometimes fight our dad with little toy lightsabers. We would always say the rules were you can't only hit the legs, you gotta make sure you show respect to your opponent, and make sure everybody stays safe, no headshots or anything like that. Of course, Sora and company don't really adhere by these rules, but they don't exactly take that much damage outside of cutscenes anyways. But that was just my childhood. All that aside, a little patience, some good timing, and I'm able to beat all three of them. That's a good amount of EXP gained, and now with that finally out of the way, one more potion, and now it's time to call it a day.
So, Kyrie's home is out there somewhere, right?
Could be. We'll never know by staying here.
But how far could a raft take us?
Who knows? If we have to, we'll think of something else.
So, suppose you get to another world. What would you do there?
Well, I haven't really thought about it. It's just, I've always wondered why we're here, on this island. If there are any other worlds out there. Why did we end up on this one? And suppose there are other worlds. Then ours is just a little piece of something much greater. So, we could have just as easily ended up somewhere else, right?
I don't know.
Exactly. That's why we need to go out there and find out. Just sitting here won't change a thing. It's the same old stuff. So let's go.
You've been thinking a lot lately, haven't you?
Thanks to you. If you hadn't come here, I probably would have never thought of any of this. Kairi, thanks.
You're welcome.
Sora! You wanted one, didn't you?
A Palpu fruit?
If two people share one, their destinies become intertwined. They'll remain a part of each other's lives, no matter what. Come on, I know you want to try it.
What are you talking?
It's nice to see you, this one. What? Welcome to King Welcome! This is serious!
Hey there, Donald. Good
We
morning.
got a problem, Goofy. But don't tell anyone.
Ooh, Queen Minnie?
Not even the queen.
Daisy?
No! It's top secret.
Oh, good morning, ladies.
What?
Hey, Sora. Have you heard about the legendary power of the Paopu fruit? They say if you share it with someone you really care for, it binds you together forever and ever, through eternity. It's so romantic. I gotta try it sometime.
Me and Titus, we are gonna do a little exploring today. You know, to the secret place at the base of that tree. There's gotta be something there, yeah?
I think you've gotten stronger, but odds are you're still no match for Riku. We took him on 3-1 last time, and he whipped us all. Well, I guess Kairi can always count on him.
Alright, I guess we're starting off day 2 by teaching Titus that Sora is strong enough to take care of anybody, even if it is early game. But that's besides the point. A few more EXP points doesn't hurt because, like I mentioned, Riku is not able to be a combatant on day 2, and therefore you can't get any more EXP from him. You can only go into the second room of this world and then race him, which gets you a pretty stone, but it doesn't get you any EXP. I think the first time that I played this on the PlayStation 3, having already played it on the PS2 and knowing that this option existed, I think I named the boat Ansem just to see if it triggered a reaction in the game, similar to saying your name is Frisk or something like that in Undertale, but it doesn't.
If I win, I'm captain. And if you win,
I get to share the Paopu with Kairi.
huh?
Deal? The winner gets to share a Paopu with Kairi.
Wait a minute.
Okay, on my count.
I talked about lightsabers between me, my brother, and my dad earlier, but the main thing that growing up on our cul-de-sac meant was that we did a lot of bike races while we were growing up on the street. So this is a lot more akin to what I'm used to growing up. The kids just either running around or biking around doing laps trying to see who's the fastest. And that was always a lot of fun for me. In-game, however, I didn't discover the fastest route to win this race until I played this again on the PlayStation 3 years after I borrowed our friend's PlayStation 2. And especially using the tactic I'm using, Land Alive is this race easy. If you just don't do that much platforming, you just run faster than Riku jumps and then you automatically win. I even go across the bridge just for the sake of grins and giggles because, oh my goodness, I'm miles ahead of this guy. An interesting aspect of this is that if you do lose, the only thing Riku says in the cutscene is that they'll name the raft what he wanted to name it. He'll always answer the Paopu fruit question the exact same whether you win or lose the first time. With the racing complete, however, it's time to try and collect some of the items for Day 2 of Destiny Islands. And I always found it strange. Get coconuts by hitting a tree until you get the right one. I think it was supposed to be like a gimmick for the sake of potential future world exploring, but as far as I can tell, this aspect of searching for items does not appear again in any other world throughout this game. With that element of the collectathon completed, however, we now move on to the secret place and something I think is really interesting. The game doesn't talk about this, but the manga actually explains what the secret place is. It's something that only Sora and Riku shared, so when Sora brought Kairi in when they were both kids, it was something really special and something that nobody else was supposed to know about. believe this general connection can be hinted at since Wakka said that he and Tidus would be exploring the secret place later that day, insinuating that they had actually never been back there. But given how many carvings there are back here, it kinda stands to reason that not only Sora and Riku spent time here. It's entirely possible that they are the only ones who spent the most time here, but I find it hard to believe that a lot of the other islanders would not spend time in this particular space.
Who's there?
I've come to see the door to this world.
Huh?
This world has been connected.
Well, what are you talking about?
Tied to the darkness. Soon to be completely eclipsed.
Well, whoever you are, stop freaking me out like this. Huh? Well, where did you come from?
You do not yet know what lies beyond the door.
So you're from another world.
There is so very much to learn. You understand so little.
Oh yeah? Well, you'll see. I'm gonna get out and learn what's out there.
A meaningless effort. One who knows nothing can understand nothing.
Once again, going over the differences between the game and the manga, after this point, this is where Day 2 comes to an end. Everything that happens with the Wayfinder and anything else that you do on the island before the next cutscene is done on Day 1 in the manga. But at this point, we've done everything we need to do, collected all we needed to collect, beaten up who we needed to beat up to get EXP, and I think we're in a good position to start fighting enemies on a regular basis here. So with that, we'll make our way over to Kairi and wrap up Day 2.
You know, Riku has changed.
What do you mean?
Well...
You okay?
Sora! Let's take the raft and go! Just the two of us!
Huh?
Just kidding!
What's gotten into you? You're the one that's changed, Kairi.
Maybe. You know, I was a little afraid at first. But now I'm ready. No matter where I go or what I see, I know I can always come back here. Right?
Yeah, of course.
That's good. Sora, don't ever change.
Huh?
I just can't wait. Once we set sail, it'll be great. What could this mean? It means we'll just have to trust the king.
Gosh, I sure hope he's all right.
Johannes, don't worry. We'll find the king and the ski.
Thank you, both of you.
Daisy, can you take care of them?
Of course. You be careful now, both of you. Oh, and to chronicle your travels, he will accompany you.
Over here! Cricket's the name. Jiminy Cricket at your service.
We hope for your safe return. Please, help the king.
You're coming too.
Gosh, Jiminy, your world disappeared too?
It was terrible. We were scattered. And as far as I can see, I'm the only one who made it to this castle.
Goofy,
Oh, right. I gotcha. You mean while we're in other worlds, we can't let on where we're from, huh? We gotta protect the world border.
order.
Right, world border. Oh, I guess we'll need new duds when we get there, huh?
Hello up there. Gotta get to lunch, too. Every time you're ready.
I just can't wait. Once we set sail, it'll be great.
A storm? Oh no! The raft!
Sora! Dinner's ready! Come on down! Sora?
What's that? Riku's boat! And Kairi's!
New microphone for Christmas! Yay! Different voice quality throughout the same episode. I am so consistent. After 2 days of doing menial tasks on the island and the tutorial, we reached the iconic Destiny Island's fall sequence with Night of Fate playing.
Where's Kairi? I thought she was with you.
The door is open.
What?
The door is open, Sora. Now we can go to the outside world.
What are you talking about? We gotta find Kairi.
Kairi's coming with us. Once we step through, we might not be able to come back. We may never see our parents again. There's no turning back. But this may be our only chance. We can't let fear stop us. I'm not afraid of the darkness.
Riku.
The story between Sora and Riku in this game, I do have a personal story about my own life that I relate to this one a lot that I will talk about once I reach Hollow Bastion. For now though, I wanted to talk about another difference between the game and the manga. In the game, like we just saw, Sora attains the Keyblade after Riku falls to darkness. But in the manga, Sora attains the Keyblade only after he runs into Kairi in the secret place. But before we go to the secret place, I wanted to talk a little bit about the soundtrack for this game. I will sing the praises of Yoko Shimomura till the ends of time. And of course, the orchestra that is used for the HD remakes is wonderful. Although I do have a bit of a small personal preference. The original version of Night of Fate on the PS2 does sound better in my opinion. Not to disparage the HD version, but I got a more sense of dread and urgency in the original. Take a listen. Both are great, and of course Night of Fate is an iconic track, but from my opinion, the original is just slightly better.
Kairi!
Sora...
Whoa!
Keeping with the theme of game versus manga, this is actually the first time we see Darkseid in the original manga, and I believe the only active time to boot. If I remember right, there is one brief glimpse of Darkseid once we reach the final world at the end of the manga, and I believe the Darkseid makes one more appearance in the manga in 358 Days Over 2, since that's when Shion summons the Keyblade for the first time. But given the general staying power of Darkseid throughout the games, I'm surprised we don't get him more in the manga. Keeping within the spirit of the manga though, an interesting thing I wouldn't have thought to try without the manga was attacking the eyes, because the manga makes a direct reference to the fact that you can do extra damage to the Darkseid by attacking the eyes instead of just the hands the whole time. And thanks to that tactic, he goes down easily, and our second big boss of the game is done. The outside world awaits. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry I didn't get this out in time for Monday, but I am trying to keep a general schedule. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode.